Hello and welcome back to the Psych-Legal Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with Sister Wives. This is season 19, episode 22, Love Covers All Wrongs. And this was a very heavy Valentine's Day episode. But before we jump into that, we've gotten a few comments and a few emails. Because last time we were very concerned about this, 150 plus acres of raw.
165
acres of land, and concerned about what it was going to take for them to just have, a sewer and running water and electricity.
Janelle and, Maddie and Caleb.
Yeah, and Wi-Fi. But we have been schooled. I guess we've just been in the city too long. We've been schooled that this is all doable. We actually got a very nice letter from, I won't say her name, from one of our listeners saying that that she had at one point bought undeveloped 153 acres and that basically, it's doable. It's expensive, basically. It's expensive, but doable. And that she also thinks that maybe it's because Caleb likes to hunt. I believe that they'll develop a bit of land and leave the rest in timber because it's great hunting ground and basically minimal upkeep. And that's another one too, which is I don't hunt. We don't really have anyone in our family that hunts. So I never really thought like, oh, okay, this is also, you could use this in different ways. I think in my city mind, in my city brain, I'm like, I'm thinking shopping centers. I'm thinking, big giant things. I never thought like, oh, okay, yeah, you would, when they said they were going to do weddings, I'm like seeing, all these cabins and all of this, but.
Yeah. And, and we grew up in the country, which is ironic because, sure, we had lots of friends who had homes.
You did?
And, Dana Crum. And,
that's right. That's right.
Her name, I took piano lessons from the lady, Jim Lohr, remember his place in Laytonville?
No, I don't remember that.
You blocked it out. But even when I was in high school, I had friends who lived out in Redwood Valley and those areas on, undeveloped big things. And you build up the infrastructure and it is doable. We're just lazy. Like we are not into like, we would never take that on. Like that's just not our mindset. So we didn't mean to be so negative. And, like you were saying before we started that we're used to Kody failing at everything.
Yes.
Maddie and Caleb are a bit more the types who would follow through.
And I think Janelle with them is good. I mean, we were just saying that look at all the stuff Christine's done and been able to get done.
Yeah, she has 2 Airbnbs now.
Yes, without Kody. So maybe we were harshly judging and it was really Kody. I also want to say something. I don't think that we're lazy. I just think that people have their strong suits, right? They're where they shine. And we're more like sit down talkers. I'll meet you at the bar, have a cocktail. What's going on? Let's go home kind of people. We're just not like, I have zero desire to want to do any of this, to do any kind of clearing of a field.
I'm joking about being lazy, but it's not our interest. We did not grow up. We are not outdoorsy people.
No, we are not outdoorsy.
Our parents never took us. I think our dad took us camping one time.
No, but mom,
she was the campfire girl leader. So we stayed once a year for a week out at Lake Mendocino. And that was the extent of our camping.
Yes. And mom really, really hit home how much she hated that when I was older, how much she hated it and how grateful we should be that she did it.
That she did it at all.
Because she hated it. And I didn't realize that because I just assumed that she loved all the things that she did for us when we were kids. And I soon learned that no, we didn't like doing any of it.
Yeah.
So we're more of a good hotel, maybe some glamping. Again, I'm not even someone like, I don't even want to do karaoke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do karaoke. I'll do like because I love puzzles. I'll do an escape room kind of a thing. But I don't want to do scavenger hunts. I don't want to do it. It's just like, great, have your scavenger hunt. I'll meet you at the bar. We'll have a drink after and we'll talk about it because I don't have any desire to do any of that. I'm one of those people.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that has to do with living off the land, but
It's just like how you want to spend your time,
yeah.
right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just how you prefer to spend your days. So,
Yeah.
and they have a website altogether, Tata Farms, looks very nice. They've got products, they've got merch,
Yeah.
and I think they're probably making good money from the merch. So, we're sorry, Janelle and Caleb.
Yeah. Sorry. We didn't mean to be so negative. I wish you all the best and
Yeah.
success at Tata Farms. So,
And maybe someday we
Anyway.
could go there.
yeah. Well,
That would be a dream.
maybe.
Yes. All right.
Well,
so,
okay. We start back at Coyote Pass. It's property that won't go away.
property.
Are we gonna? Is this? Do you think this is the last episode that we're gonna have to see Coyote Pass?
No.
What possible reason could they? Well, I guess yeah. They're still a long ways off from selling it at this point. They're like a year away.
Yeah.
Or so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is Valentine's Day last year.
Yeah.
So that was over a year ago.
Over a year. God.
And the sad thing is, if you really stop and look at this episode, Christine and David are going out, she's trying on dresses. She's going out to dinner. Kody and Robyn, they're putting a dresser, a little vanity together, and they're going out to dinner. And poor Meri and Janelle are just sitting at Coyote Pass, standing at Coyote Pass talking the entire episode. These couples are doing all this stuff. Those two are having to sit there and talk the whole time.
They can't even sit. Yeah, there's no picnic bench. Where did the picnic bench go?
Where is all the stuff that they painted? Remember?
They probably hid it because they don't want anyone else using it. They don't want
maybe
Meri and Janelle sitting on their purple picnic table.
Well, and did you see that Meri was wearing her Worthy Up shirt?
Yes. She's rolled that out.
Yes. So we've just rolled out Worthy Up. So she's wearing that. Is she, I haven't really been paying attention to what she's been doing lately. Is she, and the other thing that we got wrong, because someone else told us this, that apparently she is still doing LuLaRoe.
I've been seeing some clips on TikTok and stuff. Yeah.
But do you think that she's kind of giving up Worthy Up? Am I wrong about this? Like, I feel like it's not talked about so much anymore. Like somehow she realized that maybe this wasn't the best of ideas.
No, I think it's still going. I don't think she's going to give up that easily. I have no idea. You see clips. I saw another clip online somewhere of her. Some Worthy Up clip. I don't know the date of it. You never know what the dates are on a lot of these things. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
So,
okay.
The two of them, it's Janelle and Meri, and they're talking on Coyote Pass. And basically, they both want their money out and they're both pissed. Meri is more pissed because everything's coming together. And I think that Meri again realized, like, I did the thing that Kody wanted me to do, which is leave. And so I thought he would, in kind, treat me well and protect me. And he's not. And
or just do the right thing.
Yeah.
He's, he's not. He's depriving her of her fair share. And
yeah.
I love this. She keeps saying, she said this a couple times now this season. She says, I have an attorney. I just don't want to have to use him.
Is that Meri or Janelle?
That's what Meri says. And it's like, well, Meri, then why do you have an attorney if you don't intend to use him? I mean, come on, like, let's get the ball rolling here.
Yeah.
And it's Janelle is the one that has to kind of say to her, come on, like, don't be scared. I think Meri's still scared of something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Meri is scared of him. She's scared of, because she said that she's scared of what would happen if she hired an attorney and suddenly he gets this letter from an attorney. But just all of it, it's a little bit like, Kody really, you got to give him a little bit of credit because he really ran this family a little bit like a cult. Because, right, every single time one of the women ever challenged him, questioned him about where money was going, where things were happening, and also what was happening with Coyote Pass, he would say things like, you're not being a team player, you're being this way, you're being that way. It was like, and that's what got them to shut up. And I think that Meri's really realizing, I think it's all coming out now in her mind of all the years, all the moments, everything. Like, oh, I kept my mouth shut about this. And then I wanted this and I didn't get this. Like, I think every last one, she's just replaying them in her mind.
Yeah, no, he's so mad. Super controlling, because she said that she questioned him about the title and why the title was the way it was. And she said she got in trouble. And that Kody would make you feel badly for questioning him.
Yeah.
And Janelle corroborated that. And, Janelle is kind of like, God, I was really dumb. I should have been smarter. But here's the key. They said for 25 years, they worked together for the good of the family, and I'm sure they had problems, but, but then Robyn comes along and all of a sudden the rules change. Like, this is Robyn's. Robyn needs her estate. Can you see what the gall of these people? They accept tens of thousands of dollars from Janelle and Meri to, buy that house. And they have the gall to say, oh, no, you're not on title. You have no legal rights to this because Robyn has to have her estate. Well, where's Janelle's estate?
It's so frustrating. The other thing that drives me crazy about Kody is, so we hear these, because we hear from Meri and Janelle saying how they had been reaching out to Kody and not hearing anything and sort of stonewalling them and all of that. And Cody's he's indignant. He's like, I didn't respond because I didn't have anything to say. I didn't know what to do. Robyn didn't know what she wanted, and I didn't know what I wanted. It's like, okay, Kody, that's fine. Nobody is saying to you, you have to know what you want. I mean, they are sort of forcing you to make some kind of decision, but at the same time, it's just bad form. Like, it's basic human kindness to respond to someone, especially someone that you loved for all those years, like,
and had children with,
that if they're bugging you over and over and over again, then somewhere along the way, it's like just telling them, I don't know what I want to do. I'll let you know by this date is the kindest thing that you can do. And it's just, he's so indignant about it. He's so shocked that how dare they challenge me in any way, shape, or form? I just don't know what I want to do yet. It's like, I didn't know we were all supposed to read your mind, Kody Brown. He's exhausted. Well, he really wore on me this episode. He was a lot.
Yeah, he's always a lot. He had a few moments where he atoned for some things, the I never loved them comment, which, Janelle says that comes up in Janelle and Meri's conversation. Janelle says she doesn't really believe that. Meri says she's not so sure because he was always so back and forth with her. So that, what you're saying is that he only loved Meri when she was doing what he wanted.
Yes.
And that could be said for any of them, I guess. But yeah, I think Meri was the worst. He seemed to have treated her the worst when it comes to that kind of thing. And Janelle's like, no, I just don't think his ego can handle it.
Yeah, she clocked him. She really,
Janelle is so over him. She has like not even a modicum, like nothing. She has, does not care. She doesn't. Meri still, you can tell by how angry she's getting. She's like, I'm so angry. And it's like, why? I mean, I can everyone's pissed at Kody, but she's like emotionally like.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Christine, I think that it really told you a lot that Christine and Meri were really hurt, really mad. And so sad. And you can see with Christine now that she isn't so, right? Because last season and the season before, she was really hurt. She was, she was hurt. Even though she was dating David, she was hurt. Because all of this, how it all shook out, really hurt her. And now Meri's in this place that Christine was in a couple of years ago. But my God, Janelle was just like, you can take your diesel jeans model and live happily ever after. I don't really give a shit. I just want my money back.
Yeah. Well, she did get a dig in there where she says, we went through the starving years where she was holding her bra together with the diaper pin.
Yeah.
And they were totally broke, and they put up with all of his crazy, let's move here, let's move there. And, Miss Diesel Jeans model's never been through any of that with him. So, of course, she has a different experience with him. And anyway, Janelle's like, she can have him. I don't care.
She's like the two of them. Oh, Lord. All right.
Yes. So now we get into the Valentine's Day theme.
Oh, yes.
At Christine's house, Aspen and McKelty come over, and Aspen's already sick of McKelty.
Yeah.
Just the car ride over there. She's like, I got it done with you. But yeah, it's the first, Christine's first Valentine's Day would be Valentine's Day being married with David.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And someone's actually going to pay attention to her on this Valentine's Day.
Yes. Unlike every other Valentine's Day.
Well, we have to this whole Valentine's Day, this was beating a dead horse of Valentine's Day is difficult for polygamists because, everything has to be even and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we got it. So we always made it about the family and we made it about this and that. I'm like, okay, I understand. Do we need to talk about this 4 or 5 times? Oh, I guess we do. Okay. My favorite moment was when Christine makes Truly come out of her room. Truly sits down on the bed and she's watching this fashion show. And there was, what did Christine say about, she said, they said, is that your sexiest dress or something like that? She's like, oh no, I have something sexier for later. And do you want to see that? And Truly goes, please don't. I love her. And then she leaves. She's just sitting like, no.
She has to live with these two people who, are constantly kissing and touching each other like all the time.
Yeah. No, she's so happy those two are going to be out for the night. She's like, oh God, I can't stand those two. They're making me crazy. So she bailed fast. She was out of there.
Yeah. When I feel like, okay, so this red dress, I feel like Christine had a bunch of dresses made to show off her tattoo.
You think?
Because she has several dresses where it's cut. And this is not a natural, neckline. It goes way down, where you can almost see her boob because that's where the tattoo is. Mm-hmm. And she had, because I've seen her, she has a jumpsuit.
Yes, we saw that for the bridal. Right. That sort of pre-party at the Mexican restaurant that was way too casual.
Yeah, but she's got this jumpsuit with the same one shoulder cut off thing way down low, so it's like, we get it, Christine, you have a tattoo. Congratulations! She really wants everyone to see that tattoo.
Yeah, she does. She does. So, that's interesting because it is interesting that when you buy those one shoulder things that you don't know which arm it's going to be. It's just interesting. You only buy one shoulder things where the arm is exposed on one side, on a certain side. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and also normally would go under your armpit. This one goes down a couple inches farther to get the tattoo, to expose the tattoo because it's lower than that. I look, no shade. I'm just noticing it. I think,
yes.
She really wants to show that tattoo.
She does. She's feeling herself.
Yeah, she's feeling good. And yeah, McKelty's saying inappropriate things. And I don't know. It was an odd scene. It was they're really, scraping to find things for them. But, I forgot. I have this written down here. I think this was, they kept going back and forth between Coyote Pass and these other scenes. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of disjointed, but when they must have shown Kody the clips of Janelle and Meri talking on Coyote Pass, and Kody pipes in and he says that Robyn's money from her house paid for family debts, and the only assets he has are what are Robyn's assets. He and Robyn have dropped so much more money into Coyote Pass, and he paid $160,000 more than anyone else.
And then I was thinking, so where is that money from?
Right. And dude, you just said the only assets you have are Robyn's assets. So where did you get, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Where did you get this extra $160,000 from?
Yeah, because if you're all making a salary from the show, if this has all been in this family pot, where did $160,000
right? And why
from?
Is it yours? Why is it quote unquote yours?
Yeah,
if
Very good
the
point.
family all work together. And this is the thing, they show Kody these clips of them talking, and then he just starts going off and saying things that are nonsensical, that he'll say one thing and the next breath he's saying something completely different and the opposite, because he doesn't have an explanation. He's just like impromptu explaining.
Yeah.
Which is
there's this is sorry, I think we combined the first two Coyote Pass moments. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, Mary's really pissed, and she starts to cry at one point. Like, she's talking about how this bothers her, and she was mad. She was like, Kody and Robyn don't get to benefit from things that I contributed to. And yeah, I mean, this is part of this problem is that you all had, before Robyn came along, this agreement, this way of doing things that worked well. And I think part of it was they never really had a lot of money. So it was a little bit like there wasn't a lot to argue about. It was just whatever was
just
needed.
Survival
And all of that. But it is very, very true that Robyn came along and Kody, decided, or the two of them together decided, I'm just going to do it differently. And so now it's about, this person has to have an estate. I have $160,000. It's a little bit like,
this is yours. This is mine.
Yeah.
Why should I give you?
Yeah. And this is where Kody says, I'm not trying to hold anything back. I just don't know what I want to do, because Robyn doesn't want to sell. And I'm not going to be rushing Robyn for Meri and Janelle. Well, that's super fucked up, because every day that she sits on her hands, or the two of you sit on your hands, then that means that they have to hire this attorney. And also, guess what? If you own property with someone, you don't get to dictate. It's not like you just don't get to decide, okay, well, we're not going to do anything until everybody decides. It's a little bit like,
right.
You've got to create deadlines, and people have to make a decision by that deadline.
Exactly. What, we're going to wait forever for Robyn? She's going to hold everything up. And I think she has been the one holding this up.
Yes.
For years. And, I started thinking about, when we found out the property was sold and how much it was sold for and all that stuff, something else you got to take into consideration is how much they lost on this deal. They may have ultimately made a profit on what they paid for it and what they sold it for, less a ton of expenses, including interest, all the interest that they paid on that property to keep it and didn't do shit with it. All the property taxes that they paid for the property that they ultimately didn't do anything with. That's wasted money too.
Yeah.
And that was family money that was wasted because Kody and Robyn couldn't get their shit together.
Yeah. Well, I guess with Robyn, I wonder, was she holding on to it? I think she was holding on to it I think it worked in her benefit in a lot of different ways. I think one was that I think she does genuinely like the land and feels somewhat connected to it and did want that big house, does want all that. But I also think that she just knew that was control. It was a way to control what these other women were going to do or not do. And and I think Robyn likes control just as much as Kody does. But and then we hear from Christine. I mean, Christine's like, financial stuff with Kody was awful.
Yeah. Oh, we get it, girl.
Yeah. Well, and then Kody says that he's blaming Janelle. So now he's mad at Janelle because Janelle's the one that's like, I don't give a shit about you. Like, I don't care about you at all. So he's mad at Janelle, and he feels like Janelle is putting ideas in Mary's head. And he's like, she's thinking that just because I got divorced, I deserve something. It's like, you know what, Kody? Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
She does. Guess what?
She deserves that money she gave to you and your wife, Robyn, that you now enjoy, Well,
I'm sorry, but if this
in your new home,
just two people, right? And one person, divorces, you don't say to that person, well, I get all the house. What do you think you're going to get something? It's like, no, of course. People think they're going to get something. Yes. Yes, that's how it works, you dummy.
Yeah.
And he is just exhausting to me. It's just like, God, you are so stupid.
He really is.
We're this stupid? No, that's not how money works. I think this is why he's so terrible with money.
Yeah, he doesn't understand it.
And, I think it's going to be very interesting given the next like 4 or 5 years to see what happens with him and Robyn, because they don't have the benefit of these other women. It's all just the money that they earn. He does cameos, she doesn't. I don't know how else he goes to those gun shows. I don't know how else they make money. So I'm very curious, like how they're going to put together. I don't know. How much is that mortgage on that new place? $15,000, $20,000 a month?
At least.
I mean, okay. Let's see. How are you two going to come up with 20 grand a month?
Yeah, I know. And the show's not going to last forever. I don't think Christine has no incentive to do it that much longer.
No, David seems to do really well.
She's fine. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kody we're at Kody and Robyn's house, and they like to get these Valentine's gifts for their kids, and so they have bought a little vanity for Ariella because she loves makeup, loves putting on makeup, and this thing arrives in the mail, and I guess it arrived on Valentine's Day, and they only have like 45 minutes to put it together.
I'm like, you guys are the worst planners.
They are. And then Kody says something to Robyn about how you're the shopping queen.
Yes, yes.
Nothing truer has been said.
No.
This whole staged. I mean, everything is staged in the show, but this is ultra staged and just stupid and not entertaining.
Yeah.
But we did get some good shots of the top of Cody's head. He is bald, and then he's got these little strings of hair that are just holding on for dear life. And he somehow, I don't know how he does it. He somehow fluffs it up and curls it up enough to kind of cover some of it. But
yeah, he's very lucky because, usually men, right, they start to have that balding pattern, but Cody's really lucked out because he's got a lot of hair like at the top.
Yeah.
Not on the sides, because he's got that real what do they call it? Widow's peak. Like it's really, really, but whatever is happening at the top of his head is really, it is holding on for dear life. It is. But we then need to see this whole thing about how Kody always, when he's doing a project, this should have told you something, ladies, that when he's doing a project, he always needs a beautiful assistant. And so Robyn's being his beautiful assistant. And then I guess we go into this whole thing of how Robyn calls Kody Babe Ruth, because either when he steps up to the plate, he hits it out of the park, or he
strikes out.
So I guess this is Cody's gift giving, or
what is he hitting out of the park?
I think plans, like gift giving or something, because she asks about did you make a reservation for dinner? And, he's so proud of himself. He made a reservation for Valentine's Day dinner. He was like, ooh. And then we get into this whole thing about physical touch. Oh, now this is where Robyn talks about how she said that, in other plural families, they will do physical touch. And that when she entered the family, that they all decided that this is not comfortable. They're not comfortable seeing displays of affection.
I wouldn't say they all decided. I think Janelle and Cheryl decided.
Oh, based on that story.
Yeah, because Kody says that Meri was always very clingy, always all over him, touching him. And so by this time, Cheryl's already married to Win, and he's courting Janelle. And, Meri would just go and sit on his lap and be all affectionate. And Cheryl went to him and said that Janelle doesn't like that.
It's not respectful to Janelle.
Yeah. And this was super interesting. He said, so he kind of had to, make that rule, I guess, that he couldn't show affection to Meri when Janelle was around. And he said that he never really established affection with Janelle because of that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
Yeah, it's funny because Robyn's whole take on, and listen, I don't agree or disagree. I don't know. But her whole take is about this physical intimacy that, would it have made it better? would it be better if they were allowed to show affection and show that with each other? And so Robyn makes this big sweeping statement of, it made Kody feel, so I'm like, oh, you know how Kody feels? Made Kody feel alone and the other wives feel alone. And what I always wonder when she makes these comments is this what you were saying to Kody behind the scenes? Like kind of criticizing, like, that's the thing is that she really was able to get Kody to change a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff changed because of her. So I'm wondering if she always sort of made these comments and I don't know, and kind of made him always question these things.
Right. Because she said that she thought that showing affection would help with insecurity. And it's like, well, okay. But then when the others chime in, like when Christine and Meri chime in, they say, well, if we were in a better place in our marriages, with Kody, then maybe it wouldn't be so hard to see. But those two weren't most of the time ever in a good place with him. And so they said it was hard to see. And I think it was, he must, and they're talking about seeing it with Robyn, because I think Robyn put pressure on him to, you should show affection to me. I don't care who's around. And they're saying, yeah, we see that. And maybe if our relationship was good, it wouldn't bother us, but our relationship is bad and it did bother us. Janelle, I think, was maybe more indifferent about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I do wonder, this whole time they're talking about how Valentine's Day is not a polygamous holiday and all of these things. And I was like, can someone just say what the truth is? Polygamy kind of doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work. It does not
work.
Regular marriage between two people. And this week we're going to be covering polyfamily. And oh my God. OMG.
That is exhibit number 75 as to why polygamy doesn't work. I'm sorry. Well, we are covering that show. And we thought, we'll just kind of do this bonus episode every week. Do a light little. No, this is not light. There is a lot there. There's a lot of analysis there to be done.
But that's the thing. It's like, it's hard enough to just be married, period, with one person and just have to deal with that one person. It's hard. That's hard enough. Polygamy doesn't work. Stop trying to make polygamy happen. God.
It doesn't work.
But thank God people keep doing it. Thank God for polyfamily.
It is so entertaining to watch, though, even though it doesn't work. So anyway, they've got to hurry up because Ari is home.
That's right. Oh, no.
They can hear her. And I don't know, I guess the nanny picked her up, or I don't know how. Suddenly she appears.
Or you think Aurora?
That's true. They have a couple drivers in the house now. Yeah, poor Aurora. God forbid she have her own, life. And Kody is just, he just loves her. He's saying that she's his mini-me. Anyway, she's very happy and excited. She says, my dream has come true.
Oh.
When she sees the vanity.
It's funny, too, because I don't think I've ever really seen Ari with a lot of makeup, and I never got a makeup vibe from her at all. So that was kind of surprising that she liked to do that. But I get it. Her parents don't. I understand. How old is she? I understand they don't want her wearing makeup to school. I'm with you on that, Robyn. She's pretty young. But
she doesn't wear it on the show.
I guess I just didn't think that Robyn would let her do that. I didn't think there would be makeup available for her to even try.
Yeah.
So, anywho. But we've got to get back to Coyote Pass because Meri and Janelle are still standing there talking to each other.
Can I say one thing that I wrote down that I thought was hilarious? So that Kody wraps this whole vanity thing up by saying, we built this vanity together with the directions. He's so proud of himself. And he says, I should have read more marriage books and gotten more directions. I guess he comes up with this stuff on the fly. Yeah. This is his commentary.
Yeah.
Okay, Kody.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. And that's the thing. I don't know. And that's the thing. Weird. More marriage books, but how could you have? What polygamy marriage books? you can't apply what's in a typical marriage. Maybe you could actually apply what's in a typical marriage book. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway. He just talks. He just
talks. He just says the dumbest things.
So,
all right. So back on Coyote Pass. God, this conversation is never ending.
Well, so this was very interesting, which is that Meri talks about getting the spiritual divorce and why she made that choice. Because she's, when I understood it, she said, when we legally got divorced, we were still spiritually married, and it was still legitimate to me. So I felt like I had to. And Janelle's like, maybe I should do that too, and make sure that God's okay with me. But Janelle's, she's not part of the church anymore. Of that, she keeps saying that church. She's not part of that church anymore. So it feels very weird, which I understand too. Like, it's very odd if you're not part of the church. How do you get the release and then you go back? But Meri tells her about how Kody's pissed, and because of the fact that he looked bad to the elders.
Well, because they characterized it as abandonment.
Yes.
And Meri claims that she never used that word. She just described why she wanted the spiritual divorce. And they interpreted it as abandonment. And Kody's reasons for why it's not abandonment, or why he didn't fight it, he says, if I had been there and given them the reasons, they might not have given the spiritual release to her. I didn't abandon her. If I had given my story, it would have taken away the justification for the divorce, and I would have been stuck with her.
And that's not abandonment.
Wow.
Your words of, I don't feel like I'm even married to Meri anymore. This is abandonment. You don't quite understand what abandonment means. I think he feels like abandonment is, I never speak to you again. But if I talk to you once every couple months and cash your checks and maybe letting you live in my barnuminium, whatever that is,
barndominium,
then that's not abandonment. It's like, no, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Just because he kept talking to her and dealing with her, he didn't abandon her. Okay. And I would have been stuck with her. I mean, it's just so cruel.
It is. It's very cruel. And it's also a little bit, this is one of the things about these shows that kind of bugs me, is it gives him too much time to think these things through. But they never help him at all. Like he's like, okay, I'm going to come up with this reason. This is the reason why I don't want to look bad. And so I'm going to tell them that she, I let her have this thing, because if I had gone and told her my side of the story, then it's like,
well, do you think the problem is that because when they do these confessionals, I get the sense that they literally, they bring the person in and literally show them a clip of what the other person is saying, and they've never heard it before. And then they're asked to immediately respond.
Without context.
Or without having any chance to even reflect or think, well, how should I answer this? Or what would be the best way to answer it? And I feel like with the wives, their answers make sense because I think they're telling the truth, or at least Christine, Janelle, and Meri. So it's not hard for them to respond to these clips. It's harder for Robyn and Kody to respond in the moment to these clips because they have such a narrative and a manipulative thing going on that they don't have enough time in their brains to synthesize this and come up with an answer that doesn't sound completely wackadoo.
Yeah.
Especially with Kody, you know what I mean? Because his responses are so, nonsensical most of the time and angry. And it's because he's being confronted with something that makes him look bad. And his ego just doesn't know what to do. And he gives terrible answers.
Well, and it also shows you how much those two are, they have a lot of narcissistic traits, because when someone comes to you and says, well, this is so-and-so's opinion of this, or this is how they feel, or this is the situation, the two of you never, ever stop and ever think, what was my part in this?
Mm-hmm.
What was I was a part of this relationship. What did I do that could have potentially gotten this to this place? And that tells you so much about all of them, about all of them.
Oh, it's true.
And I just think, I think you're right. That sounds very truthful. It's almost like Kody cannot sit with the discomfort of someone maybe not liking him, someone having a perception of him that's not quite right. And it's a little bit like, then maybe you shouldn't be on reality TV.
Yeah. He cannot handle any criticism of him. And he just lashes out. But then when he has control over the narrative, like when he's talking about Robyn or his kids with Robyn, then he lights up and he's like a different person. And it's like, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. It's because, these people over here are not threatening to me. They worship me, whatever. These people over here are a threat. And so I have to be completely defensive and it's exhausting.
All right.
Okay. So more still Valentine's Day.
Oh no, it's Valentine's Day throughout this episode, except at Coyote Pass where it was just.
We don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is David and Christine. Now, the first thing I notice is this is their romantic Valentine's Day dinner out, but yet the sun is out. It's like the brightest part of the day. I mean, what time is this? Like 3:30 that they can film in the restaurant. I guess there's nobody in there.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of people in there. She's like, oh, all eyes are on us. And it's like, not really like, two people.
Yeah, all two of them.
There was no one in there. And you're right. It's February, which means that it gets dark at like 5 o'clock, 5:30.
Exactly.
And so, you're right. So it had to have been at the latest 4:30. Maybe
at the very
least. Got a coupon.
Yeah. I just think they said, you can film here, but you got to be out by 3 because we got to get ready for the dinner shift.
Maybe that was like a beginning dinner because we don't really see them eat. We see them each have a cocktail. So maybe it was like
they had a couple cocktails.
So maybe it was like, okay, we'll go here. This place is willing to shoot. We'll drink early. We'll start at 3 or 4. We'll start drinking. And then we'll go to this restaurant that's, somewhere else. Maybe that's what they did and actually had a nice romantic meal. But
I hope so.
It just warms my heart. And I know people criticize David in his own ways, but I just think it's like, Christine talking about how painful it was to hear about Kody never being attracted to her. And, how much that took for her to move past that. And the fact that she was able to move past that in the time period that she did is pretty impressive because that was huge. And then David saying to her, I'm glad I waited for you. It's like,
I know. I love their love.
I know people find them annoying and I know it's a lot, but listen, these are two people that were really like, lonely.
Yeah, they needed each other. Yes.
And here they are and they're going to spend the next 20, 30 years just, buying Airbnbs and humping and, having a great time, showing off their tattoos. I mean, isn't this what everybody wants? I mean, isn't this what the dream is?
I
just think they're so sweet.
I would like a David.
David's great.
He is great. And I thought he looked really cute. He had some little glasses.
I liked the glasses a lot.
Yes.
They're very cute.
Yeah. I don't want anyone talking bad about my David and Christine.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it was, and they're very vulnerable. They're on, she's talking about how she didn't even know how it felt to have someone have her back.
Yeah.
And that it's terrible not to feel loved and supported and secure. It's just, I don't know. How can you say anything bad about this?
Yeah.
Sure, someone will, but.
I think a lot of people found Christine annoying with all of the wedding stuff and David. And I, too, was one of these people that was very nervous for her because I really didn't feel like they knew each other long enough. So now I feel better. We've seen David through an entire year plus.
Yes, 4 seasons.
Yes, we've seen the 4 seasons with him, so he's good. But it really was. I mean, this could have been bad. It really could have been.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been a shyster. I mean, and she was so vulnerable. She was she would be easy to take advantage of.
Yeah.
And she just found like the perfect guy for her.
Yeah, for her.
So let's go over to Kody and Robyn, because these two make me want to barf.
Oh, and did you notice Kody has a new white convertible?
Yes, I did. I was like, I don't know if I've seen this car before. So
I don't know, but it's obviously new and it's all spiffed up. And, these two, they're...
Ugh. Well, he gets out of the car and he's wearing like a sport coat with a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
And a necklace. Like an amulet or something. One of those David Yurman pieces.
Oh, God. And so Robyn sees that he has this little bag, and she's like, oh, we didn't say we were going to be doing gifts here. And, Robyn, if this man's going to give you a gift, he's going to do it on television. Trust me. He wants to get credit no matter what. But this is what I thought was very interesting. Well, he first says pretty jewelry for a pretty woman.
Gag me.
But he's telling Robyn about how he went to Salt Lake City. The way he phrases these things, he went to go see his girls from Christine, and he saw some of his other kids from another mother there too.
Yeah,
and I'm like, so Janelle,
say their names.
Like,
yeah,
who? It would have to be Janelle or Leon. I don't know who else. It's either Meri or Janelle. Like,
well, because later he says 2 of my boys from another mother.
Okay, so
it's got to be 2 of Janelle's kids. I don't know which ones, but
yeah. And who even lives in Salt Lake City? That's Janelle's kids.
Nobody.
So that was weird.
Because Hunter and Logan live in Las Vegas. And Gabe and Garrison were in Flagstaff.
So that's weird. So maybe they were visiting. Maybe
someone was visiting.
Someone was there
from somewhere. But yeah, I always, the way he's always like Janelle's kids, Christine's kids. He never says, McKelty. He just name the kid. Like, why do you separate it out like that?
Well, and what's interesting is that, again, Kody cannot take any ownership, any responsibility. He cannot for one moment stop and go, why do my children feel alienated from me? What has been happening that would make my oldest daughter ask me, why don't you love me?
Yeah.
So
that's something.
And he's back to this whole thing of, basically he got alienated from his children during these breakups because, according to him, these women badmouthed him.
Yeah, because the moms trash talked him.
Again, you cannot trash talk something to a 30-year-old. Do you know what I mean? You can,
they already have their mind made up. Yeah. They have their own opinion. They're not going to be swayed by something that you say. Yeah, and he says he was in pain and didn't feel welcome to reach out to anyone. Well, what did they do to make you not feel welcome? Just because you let's be honest, you were in pain. You didn't want to reach out because you were in pain and you weren't willing or able or whatever to go to them and have an honest conversation. So you just didn't. You just avoided it.
Yeah. Well, and he didn't want to have those conversations because it would require him to, again, own up to some part of this, because I think he also knows that he can't go to Aspen and be like, your mother's a monster and she did this, this, and this. It's a little bit like, that's not going to fly. Like, he had to have sat down with her, and he had, and he was going to have to take some level of ownership or responsibility for the fact that the marriage didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he said it was fun to see McKelty and the twins. And he says that is getting better. Yeah. And the other boys from another mother, we don't know. But, well, and then we need to talk about the gifts. Robyn's gifts.
Yes. Okay.
Which was like, I think it was earrings and a necklace. And it was like turquoise earrings, like a circle of turquoise. And it looked like it had little diamonds around it and a matching necklace. Not very modern or cute.
Well, I thought it was just earrings. I guess I missed the necklace.
Yeah, no, there was a necklace. There were 2 boxes.
Oh, 2 boxes. Okay, look at Kody.
Yeah.
And Cody's so proud of himself. He's like, I know that's the turquoise that
your favorite turquoise.
You like. I mean, listen, look at those 2. I mean, has Robyn ever been on the edge of fashion ever?
No.
Has anyone ever on the show ever been anywhere near the edge of fashion? I mean,
oh yeah, and look, it's Valentine's Day, and Robyn is just in her regular old business casual,
yeah,
flowered top and slacks. At least Christine sexed it up,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Robyn, that's the best you can do.
Yeah, Kody put on a sport coat. He went all out.
Yeah. So anyway, then we go back to, I don't know what, they cut back to Christine really quickly. And she says, I can't believe now that I was ever okay with plural marriage. And then she says, oh, I was until Robyn.
Yeah, then we go back in time where we see that flashback of a very, very pregnant Christine talking about how Kody and Robyn kissed when they got engaged. And that was again, back to what was agreed upon. It sounds like this was an agreed upon thing. We don't kiss until we're married. And that it was sealed with a kiss. I think it was sealed with a little bit more. If you want my 2 cents, I think it was sealed with a lot more. But yeah, of just how devastating all that was. Devastating.
Yeah. But then Kody tries to turn it around and blame it on her and saying that it was awkward that they didn't kiss until they were at the altar, and that he claims Christine told him that if he ever got married again, that he should probably kiss first get the kiss over with before that.
Yeah.
And one Christine says, but I didn't think that would ever happen.
Well, I'm sorry, but it would be me going to Steve being like, oh, is your girlfriend coming this weekend? You know how people make these jokes or like, oh, you're visiting your girlfriend. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And then him coming and showing up with some girl being like, well, you told me, 5 years ago, you made a random comment or a joke. And now I'm going to believe it. It's like, no, Kody he's too impulsive. Kody wanted to kiss her. And he was going to do it, and he was going to find a reason for it. The problem with Kody is he can't keep his goddamn mouth shut ever. No one needed to know about the wedding dress. He said that. This is the other thing. He cannot keep a secret.
He's also so impulsive. He kissed Robyn knowing that the cameras were there that day when he was leaving her house to go. Christine's in labor, and he can't help himself. Yeah, he's just so impulsive and.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but Robyn's real nervous because she's trying to figure out what's going on with Kody. Does he want to be in plural marriage? Am I going to be enough for him? And then of course again, Kody goes back to being bitter about plural marriage. That he was convinced this was something I was convinced that I should do, and I'm not interested in this any longer. And again, it's a little bit like, I understand you were very young when you started all this. And yeah, I think that probably your parents did push you into that. But again, you could have left. You could have said no. You could have maybe not married so many women. I mean, I just don't know what to say anymore about it. It's just really exhausting that he's unwilling to take any responsibility for anything he's ever done.
Well, that's par for the course. I mean, that's Kody.
I know.
That's just him. I don't
know why I keep wanting him to change.
I don't know why you're surprised by this. But.
I'm Christine. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. And Robyn's saying that, she thought she would be polygamist her whole life. And then Kody says, I feel like I've been slapped by polygamy. What? Slapped by polygamy. It's hard not to be bitter, but he's not interested anymore. Not in that space. I don't know. No. They're both pretending this is an act. They're both pretending to be so conflicted. Like, what do? We thought we were going to be living polygamy forever, and what do? They already know what they want to do. They just want to be with each other, and that's the conclusion they come to. Oh, shocking.
Well, do you think that then Kody really, we all know Kody was in a dark space because they talk about that. He apologizes to Robyn for being in this dark space that he was in. He realizes now, here's some awareness. He realizes now that he was sabotaging it. He became a bit self-destructive because, all these women were breaking up with him.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit of, now I'm going to break your heart before you break mine kind of a situation. But do you think that he really was that dark with her? Do you think all of that was really true?
I think he must have been, because remember last season when they were watching the tell-alls on the couch and Robyn she kept rolling her eyes and she looked so miserable. And because he was so, or the look backs, those look backs. They were sitting on the couch together watching, I don't know, what clips of whatever. And she really looked like she was at her wit's end. So, this is probably the most self-aware thing Kody's ever said.
Yeah.
Is that he was hurt. He got dumped by 3 women. He thought, oh my God,
he got dumped by 2 women and then he dumped another one.
Oh, okay. But I think he feels like he was dumped by Meri because he said he would have kept pretending.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, no, I'm not going to pretend anymore. So I'm sure he would put that in the same category because he's mad, about what the church said. So anyway, he's somewhat self-aware here. And, he realizes he took it out on Robyn. His ego, took a beating. And so, basically they end up just agreeing that, he admits that saying that he never loved the other wives was untrue.
Yes.
And this was also a very self-aware thing he said. He said, I got my identity from them saying that I was awesome and telling my kids that I was awesome and my kids telling me that I was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're gone and they're saying I'm a piece of trash.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying they were trash and I didn't love them. I loved them. I would be happy to something. I don't know.
Well,
anyway.
He does say, I always thought plural marriage was hard on me, but never thought how hard it was on my wives.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, Kody. Okay,
There's
you had some moments.
Kody had some big moments, but let's not pretend that they were actually contemplating whether or not they were going to, get another wife or whatever.
Yeah.
No, they are perfectly happy together.
Yeah.
They're very happy together.
And here's the thing. I think that Robyn does force Kody in whatever way it is, whether she's behind the scenes pulling the strings. I do think that she does force him because he loves her so much that he's willing to kind of be better for her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? He wasn't willing to be better for these other women. I think that's a big part of it was that he really, he's willing to stop and recognize these things and ask these questions and all of that stuff. And very much so, this whole thing about his identity where, it sounds like you're only really happy when everyone loves you. You're only really happy when you get a lot of attention. And that is Kody, I tell this to my clients, it's a very dangerous place to be because then you are putting all that power in other people's hands. Mm-hmm. You are dependent upon other people to validate you and your experience and who you are and your worth and value. And don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone needs praise. We all need to be told a job well done. But at the end of the day, you have to be your biggest champion. And I think that's one thing about Kody that makes I find him so exhausting is that, he needs a lot of people loving him all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is exhausting because then you're constantly having to be running around seeking validation instead of just being yourself and just living your life.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says to Robyn, I'm very pleased and happy to be in a monogamous relationship with you. And she says, okay, I love you. Happy, happy, happy.
Okay. Well, next time, Meri's dating.
Next time on, this is very short.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to believe that.
It's just happening.
Well, no, I think. Well, okay. So Meri says this is all that's on the next on. Meri says she's dated some people who were not interested in her because of her background.
Mm-hmm.
And then David jumps over a fence.
Yes.
I don't know what that's about. And then that was it. So I'm like, Okay, there's got to be more to the next episode than this. So this was Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Garrison died in early
May.
March.
March. Early March?
Yeah, like the first week of March. So I feel like next week is going to address that.
Really? Okay.
I don't know, just a guess, because there was almost nothing on this next time on.
Well,
I don't know, there's part of me that doesn't even want to
go there
with the family. I feel like they should be able to just have their privacy. I don't think they owe it to us to explain anything or share anything or anything,
Yeah.
But maybe they want to. I don't know.
Well, I do remember thinking, oh, this is Valentine's Day. So this is before Garrison passed. I'm like, okay, this is where we are. Because we didn't quite know where we were in this timeline. It's also confusing. Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it spring? Right? That we just didn't know. So now we kind of know where we are. So you're not wrong. Of what's next. But yeah, there was something else about David hopped over a fence and then Christine got mad at him. And David's like, I'm going to see how far I can take this, because he likes it when he's kind of, he likes to be bad.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, that can't be the whole episode. The hijinks over at David and Christine's house.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're still here, the show is 42 minutes and it's an hour, 61 minutes that we've been talking about it. If you like us and enjoy our content, go check out our Patreon. We do a weekly bonus. You get all the shows ad free. We do for our higher tier, we do a monthly true crime and ask us anything. So go check it out. Please follow us. Make sure that you get all of our new episodes. Like I said, this week, we're going to be covering polyfamily. And then on Thursday, we're covering, the Oklahoma City bombing, which was, I learned so much. I didn't know how little I knew about the Oklahoma City bombing.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
30-year anniversary.
Polygamy, bombings. It's a vast array of stuff here. So go check us out. You can follow us on social media at Psych Legal Pop. Or give us a rating and review. Those always really do help us, and all that other good stuff. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.